everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. I'm here doing the Astrology Insight for the week of September 21st. This week, we don't have a lot going on in major aspects, but they are some potent and powerful ones. Beginning on Sunday, September 21st, we have the Sun opposing Saturn, as well as the Moon opposing Saturn, and then we have that new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo at 2:53 p.m. Central Time. And then on Monday, we have the Sun's ingress into Libra, we have Mars's ingress into Scorpio, and then on Tuesday, we have the Sun opposing Neptune, as well as the Sun trine Uranus. Sunday, September 21st is one of those days where we want to give ourselves some grace and some space to really exist, to really pay attention to what's being pulled away from us, what we're being asked to let go of, and what are we setting forward for our future. Not only do we have the new moon at 29 degrees of Virgo, but we have the solar eclipse occurring at 2:53 p.m. Central Time, but all before that, we have the Sun opposing Saturn at 12:45 a.m. Central Time, so we're going to feel that energy on Saturday as well. And then we have the moon opposing Saturn at 1:42 p.m. Central Time on Sunday. So that Sun opposing Saturn energy that we're going to be feeling on Saturday as well is one where you may feel less energy than usual. You may feel more pessimistic. You may feel down on yourself because there's just something that's really heavy making you feel like perhaps you're not good enough. Perhaps all the work that you've been doing is not necessarily getting you to the place that you want. And there's just this weight that says you don't get to have that unity and wholeness with yourself, and that can be a complete illusion, but there is something to acknowledge in that. So on Saturday and Sunday, we want to really look at what is that thing that doesn't allow you to have unity and wholeness with yourself, with other people, or perhaps just the world at large. Because as we are going into this new moon, the new moon is when the moon is conjunct the sun, burning away the past and planting the seeds of the future. So as we have this final aspect before the new moon, before the solar eclipse, we have that aspect of an opposition to Saturn, which says, what do we want to let go of? What is becoming so bothersome, so heavy, so dramatic, and it's so obvious that it's blocking us from unity and wholeness. How this shows up, though, can be quite dramatic, can be quite harsh. So this is where we want to give ourselves some space today, some grace today, because perhaps it shows up in a way that's very uncomfortable because it is Saturn in Pisces. So if it feels like the rug's being pulled out from underneath you, just take a moment and pause. Just take a moment and breathe. Just take a moment and acknowledge, what is that thing that really does not allow you to have that unity and wholeness, and it's becoming so obvious, and now it's time to really release it and let it go. Because like I said, with this new moon in Virgo, what better time than now to plant the seeds of the future and say, you know what, that thing that holds me down, that thing that blocks me, I don't want that in my life. I need to plant the seeds of the future that allow me to grow in a more optimized, optimal way so that I don't get affected by that weighted thing that's just been holding me down. I'm going to cut that out of my life and move towards things in my life that can actually make me feel like I'm growing and that I'm living the most optimal life. On Monday, September 22nd, we have Mars's ingress into Scorpio at 2:52 a.m. Central Time, followed by the Sun's ingress into Libra at 1:19 p.m. Central Time. So with Mars's ingress into Scorpio, this is a nice exit because Mars has been in Libra where Mars is in detriment. Now Mars moves into Scorpio where we have much more power and drive to get things done, to get to the bottom of things, and to really come together with other people in a very passionate way and merge in power. Now the thing that's interesting is as Mars is moving into Scorpio, a better place, the Sun is moving into Libra where the Sun is in fall. So when the Sun is in Libra, usually Libra is a sign of social activity, connecting with other people, really weighing ourselves out and bringing harmony and balance. But with the Sun in Libra, it does say that there is still that inclination for social activities, but there also is that inclination to say, I want to be at the center of those social activities. I want to be the most important person in these social activities. So we can see kind of some of that attitude happening as well because the Sun is a very singular focused planet, meaning that the Sun is the only star in the sky during the daytime. So whatever sign the Sun is in, that's where we get to see that solar energy radiated. And like I said, usually Libra is a sign of social activities and understanding other people. But with the Sun there, this does, like I say, have us focusing on more of who are we and how are we weighing ourselves, and perhaps trying to maybe one up other people. We can see that sort of activity happening. On Tuesday, September 23rd, we have the Sun in Libra opposing Neptune in Aries at 7:53 a.m. Central Time. And then in the evening, we have the Sun in Libra trine Uranus in Gemini at 9:54 p.m. Central Time. So the difference between the energy in the morning and then the evening is quite dramatic and very obvious. Because in the morning, we may feel a lack of vitality. We may have confusion about who we are, what we're doing. We may have some self-doubt. We may feel perhaps that all the truth is not being shown, that there's some lies, there's some scandals, and we may have just an element of distrust. Where in the evening, with that Sun trine Uranus, we have this passion and this energy to have a very conscious awareness of what our goal is, bringing in new ideas, new innovation. There's just a lot of momentum and energy that we can work with in the evening time. Now we're going to feel that energy building up throughout the day as well, but with that morning energy of that Sun opposing Neptune, it can just create some confusion. So perhaps that energy is what becomes the catalyst for allowing ourselves to really have new ideas, brainstorm, and really pull ourselves out of that confusion by having some drive and really breaking through any resistance and bringing in some new ideas. If you'd like to schedule a personal reading, you can contact me at 11kaivarose33.com.